So we had a homeowner in that neighborhood approach us and said she would like to see what it takes to become a preservation zone. And so we just walked her through the process. The neighbor, her name is Debbie Despain. She did all the door-to-door work. She was very relentless, engaging the interest of the neighborhood. And then ultimately, on October 3rd, it passed. So it was about almost a 2-year project for her. And then we helped kind of shepherd it through the city and I guess bureaucracy that it takes to get it approved. So it's a fun process, but it does take a little while. Well, first of all, it's in really good condition, and by that I mean it's well maintained. There's been some alterations throughout, but overall they're just in great condition. So that's one part of it. The second part is they're a great collection of minimal traditional housing, which was popular. Like if you did a minimal traditional, you could almost get guaranteed to get a federal housing administration loan because the government wanted to fund housing, but they didn't want anything too elaborate. That's why we have something called minimal traditional. So it didn't have all the like Spanish colonial revival. There wasn't a lot of wrought iron work or a lot of, extra. It was just kind of what it needed to be. So it's a good representation of that. And then it was also a lot of the houses were built by the Jewett brothers, which were a very instrumental company in forming Fullerton and getting a lot of housing built. Prior to World War II, the city applied to become kind of a defense worker city, like a feeder city. We did have some manufacturing here. The Kohlenberg Corporation manufactured like refrigeration equipment, but we didn't really have any big, factories here for the war. But we did build housing, and then people that worked in the defense industry. So you could live in Fullerton, but then take a bus up to LA or take a bus to Santa Ana or to Buena Park and work in a factory that you either produce components that supported the war effort or maybe a whole unit or whatever it could be. So the city was really looked forward and saw, okay, we have an opportunity here, applied for the grant through the United States, the federal government, and was able to get some housing built. And then the people that lived in those houses had to work in the defense industry. So I think it's our four leaders of the city were smart enough or like prescient enough to say, hey, this is going to be good for the city. And I believe we were only one of 3 cities in Orange County that had this designation. I think maybe 4, Buena Park and Huntington Beach, Santa Ana, and us, I think. So if other people live in historic neighborhoods and are interested in preserving their neighborhood, all they have to do is send a 2-line letter to info@fullertonheritage.org and say, I am interested in my neighborhood becoming a preservation zone. And then we'll pick up the ball from there. Because really what has to be done, the whole neighborhood has to be surveyed. We go house by house. We look exactly what's in the neighborhood. So that's the service that Fullerton Heritage really provides, is we're kind of work with the city, but then we work with the homeowners.